Hello friends, how are you doing? Day 1869, hope you're doing amazing. I just want to come in and talk to you about love and trauma. Fun subjects, right? I either heard this on a video or I read this somewhere. Basically it said, love does not leave you traumatized. Whatever happened to you wasn't love. And it's got me thinking. I'm just like, that's true. Because I think a lot of us, we grew up with some type of trauma, right? Some a lot more than others. But did you ever wonder why you have certain patterns? A lot of it has to do with our upbringing. And so I know many people, including myself, grew up with receiving love with trauma tied to it. And so if you did, then you may associate love and trauma to be linked somehow, right? And so if you keep dating that certain type, if you have a certain type and it's never good for you, there's a reason why. And if you grew up with love and trauma linked together, that's probably why you have a lot of toxic relationships in your life. And I'm talking mainly about romantic here, right? And so typically if the toxic is unhealthy for you, right? But the thing is, even though you may have been traumatized, the trauma and how you were treated was not your fault. I don't know if you ever thought about that. However, healing is your responsibility. Yes, how you grew up, what happened to you may have been really bad, but that's in the past. It is now your responsibility to heal from those wounds, that trauma, and actually move forward in your life and become a responsible, mature adult. Now, and here's another thing, I don't know if you ever thought about it. Let's say you did grow up in a very unhealthy environment. Did you know that most likely your parents did the best that they could? They did the best they could with what they knew. Did you ever think about that? There's no real manual to tell you this is how you parent, right? Because there's a wide array of children and their issues, right? And their needs and what have you. So like every parent with every child is going to be different in some way, shape, or form. Now, the thing is, if you grow up with love and trauma linked together, what happens when a healthy, loving, vibrant person comes into your life? Will you be able to receive that love? And for most of you, you can't. Why? Because you're triggered. You get triggered by your wounds. You start to self-sabotage. And you look at the other person and think it's their fault. When in reality, a lot of times, we can't handle our own emotions. Ever thought about that? Because really, if you think about it, who doesn't want, like, wholesome love? Like, healthy love? But it's not easy. Because again, most of us grew up traumatized. And so, but how can we heal? Well, you have to be willing to do the hard work. The heart work, which is the hard work. Right? And prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to be able to receive that love when it comes. Because if you choose to actually hold on to those stories, the trauma that you grew up with, if you choose to hold on to them so tightly, guess what? When healthy love comes, your hands are full with all your past trauma. And you can't, your hands need to actually be open. I can't see it, but it has to be open to receive all that love. But if you're holding so tight to your old stories, to what happened to you, choosing to be a victim, you may have been a victim. I'm not discounting any of that. However, you are now an adult, and it's time for you to start anew. If you can, do your best to forgive the people that caused that trauma and then start to heal yourself. It's not an easy road, not at all. It's going to be hard. You're going to fail. You're going to hurt others along the way. But the truth is, trauma doesn't define you. How you choose to heal does. And so I hope you choose to heal. I hope you choose to get some help. There's many different modalities, different programs out there, options, therapy, different types of therapy, lots of books, lots of programs, courses, coaching, or you know what, some of you will just have to go through a lot of heartbreak to learn certain lessons. Some of you are just really stubborn and you can't learn certain lessons any other way. I know myself, I've gone through a couple of relationships that were really, really like traumatic for me. And guess what? I'm very grateful for them. It hurt the heck out of me. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. But I'm so grateful because it allowed me to actually really do the healing that I need to do. And I don't know if I could have learned that any other way. And so if you've got some things to heal, and you may not even be aware that you have stuff to heal. If you think that you don't, I definitely encourage you to go get some help. Because if you don't think you have any issues, I promise you got some issues. And I say that with love, okay? Because I want the best for you, okay? And a lot of times, we have rose-colored glasses, especially when it comes to ourselves. We suck at seeing ourselves as we are. And so that's why we need somebody on the outside to actually help us. Okay? But anyways, that's it for tonight, my friends. Just want to share some thoughts on that. I think, because, there's so many people out there. They're hurting so many people unintentionally. That's the thing. It's unintentional. That's why I'm making this video, to hopefully raise some awareness for you to maybe look inside and reflect and be honest with yourself. Because again, we all have wounds to heal. The question is, are you willing to? If you're not, you know what? All you're doing is just signing up for a lifelong journey of hurt and pain and never being able to receive actual love and never be able to actually feel what true healthy love is. And to me, that's very sad. But, we all have to make our own decisions. Okay, I love you all. Crap, I don't have my sign. I love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.